Hey, my YouTube friends. I was given some apples, a bunch of apples, and we have eaten apples and eaten apples, and I don't want them to go to waste, so we are going to put them in a brush canner. We're going to make cinnamon apples. Yum, yum, yum. We can have apple dumplings. We can make apple dump cake. We can have apple pie. We're going to put some up. All right, we got a lot of work ahead of us. Here we go. So the first thing we need to do is peel our apples. And I've got this nice little handy dandy apple peeler that I'm going to use. I used to have an attachment that goes on the end of it. So it cored it the same time it peeled it, and that was really, really nice. But I guess I lost it in the move because I cannot find it at all since we moved. So anyway, I'm going to have to core them and slice them after I get through peeling them, and I'll show you guys that too. But for now, we're just going to peel a couple of them. Then we'll core them and slice them. I have a little bucket up here underneath the peeler, and it's catching all my peels. I'm going to give that to the chickens, and then the cores, I'm just going to throw those away because you shouldn't feed them, you know, with the seeds and all. You shouldn't feed that to anything because of the cyanide that's in the seeds. So we're going to throw that away, and the peels are going to the chickens, and any ripe apples can go to the cows and the horses. Now we're just going to take our little apple slicer, and we're going to slice these apples. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to throw the cores in the garbage, and the apples are going in this 5-gallon bucket. I have water in there and the citric acid so they won't turn brown while I'm doing all this. I'm going to go ahead and show you these other three, and then I am not going to bore you with watching me do all these. I think I had roughly 8 to 10 pounds of apples that I'm doing right now. I ended up with about a half of a 5-gallon bucket full. And I ended up with 7-quart jars. So it worked out pretty good. My hands were tired, and we were able to fill up our canner. And finally, here are our apples that are ready to be put in cans, and our chicken food. My chickens will be happy in the morning. We have our 7-quart size jars that are cleaned and sterile, our funnel, and we are adding our apples. We're going to fill up all these jars, pack all the apples in pretty good and tight. Make sure I have enough apples to fill up these jars before I start making the syrup to go in them. This is the first time that I've canned cinnamon apples, so I'm not really sure how much syrup I need. That's why I'm waiting until after I get my jars filled so I can make sure, you know, I don't make an excessive amount of syrup to go in there. Now I'm just trying to use the last little bit of apples that I have to pack all these jars pretty tight. Fill them up as much as we can. Now that we have our jars filled, we're going to start on our syrup. My water is warm. I have 3.5 pints of water, 7 cups of sugar, and 3 tablespoons of cinnamon. I actually ended up using 4 tablespoons of cinnamon. I apologize that this footage is so wobbly. I was trying to pour the ingredients with one hand and film with the other. Whoa, got a spoon in your face. I can't help it. I've never been one that was able to multitask. And again, guys, I've said it in my other videos, my other cooking videos. I so wish we had smell-o-vision because My house is smelling amazing right now. Oh my gosh, this smells amazing. We're just gonna stir this up real good, make sure we don't have any clumps of cinnamon, and make sure the sugar is melted. Now that that's done, we are going to use our funnel and our ladle, and we're going to ladle the syrup into the apples. Per the instructions on the Presto Canner cookbook or instruction manual, it says to leave a 1/2 inch headspace for the liquid on our apples, so that's what we're gonna do. Now what we're gonna do is debubble, and basically what that means is you're just gonna use your wooden spoon, your little spatula, a skewer. You're gonna poke around in there and try to get out all of the air bubbles. And I pack these jars pretty tight, so it's taken me just a little bit to get them down in here, but you want to make sure you get as much of the air bubbles out as possible. You definitely don't want to spend this much time and effort into canning and having your food spoil because you didn't debubble. I had some of these packed a little too full, and you caught me. That one was a taste test, and they haven't even been canned yet or set in these jars long enough, but it tasted so good. Of course I had to try it. Okay, and now I'm going to take a clean rag with vinegar and wipe the rims off. I'm going to wipe all the rims with vinegar to ensure that we get a good seal. And there is a lot of sugar in here. It's sticky. We want to make sure the rims are clean. That way when we put our lids on, we'll get a good seal. Wow, how many times did I actually say that? That's okay, it's very important. Okay, now we're going to add our lids, and they have been cleaned and sanitized, as well as our rings. And with the rings, you just want to put them on finger tight. You don't want to have them too tight. Always just fingertip tight. Once we have all of our rings on, they will be ready to go in the pressure canner. And I have my water warming, and we are ready to go. Because the syrup was hot, you want to make sure your water's hot before you add the jars. That way it doesn't shock them, and you don't risk the chance of your jars breaking. Somehow I lost the footage of me actually putting the apples in the pressure canner, but that's okay. Per the instructions in the Presto Cannon book, you want to process this at 6 pounds of pressure and for 8 minutes for the quart jars. At my altitude, I actually did this at 11 pounds of pressure for 10 minutes. Maybe an overkill, but that's how I did it. Once the canner has cooled and the steam has been released, or the pressure has been released, it's time to take our apples out. And oh my goodness, I'm going to say it one more time. My house smells amazing. And we have some pretty, pretty apples. I am so super excited to share this with you guys. And even more exciting to try them. If you know, I did not add any gel. I did not add any gel to this at all. So they are apple cinnamon. That's all it is. If you guys have any recipes that you would like to share with me, or that you would share with me as far as to, you know, how to cook these or how to process them, I actually am going to make a dump cake with it. And, you know, when it cooks, I'll probably, you know, cook them a little bit to thicken up the sauce. But as it cooks, it's also going to thicken. But if you guys have any recipes, any ideas how I could use these, please leave them in the comments below. I love your feedback and really enjoy it when you guys send me recipes so we can try it with our family. I'll make a video this time of some of the recipes that you guys send me and how we enjoyed it. Alrighty guys, so here it is, our finished product. We have these beautiful, beautiful cinnamon apples. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I really enjoyed making it. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment, and leave me those recipes. Until next time, bye.